Hey sports fans, Coach Nick here, and welcome to B-Ball Breakdown. Very excited to be back from my vacation. It was well needed after my long season, and I'm all refreshed, batteries ready to go for the end run, the last 5 weeks of the regular season plus playoffs and the finals. It's going to be great for both B-Ball Breakdown, Heat Breakdown, B-Bull Breakdown, and all sorts of other things we're going to present to you. That said, I went through the Heat versus the Spurs game from last night. And I think we all can agree that Chris Bosh is very key to the Miami Heat's fortunes, because we know that LeBron and Dwayne Wade are going to give us what they're going to give us. They're 25 and 7 and 5 assists. So Bosh becomes the key. And when he plays like a power forward, they are nearly unstoppable. But when he plays like a guard, they're not going to do so well. And I'm going to show you what my concerns are, even in the face of his monster game last night. Watch Bosh and how he settles for jump shots and shies away from the action. On the penetration by Chalmers, he should slide into the basket for a dunk. Instead, he goes backwards and takes a long 20-footer that misses. Typical offense is Bosh will screen early for Wade. Here, the difference is it's much lower than normal, and it's a rescreen, so when he catches the ball, he's right at the basket for a layup as opposed to a long jump shot. It seems clear the Spurs are willing to give Bosh that jump shot, as you'll see him on the weak side simply pop up, they don't follow him, and he gets an open jumper that goes in. Again on a screen and roll, this time for LeBron James, you're going to watch Bosh settle for a jump shot near the free throw line instead of moving into the basket. The Heat execute a nice weak side screen with Joel Anthony, which causes Bonner to have to come out on Bosh. There's no match for him, but watch his lack of a right hand finish. Bosh gets a nice hustle play right here with a layup, but watch McDyess as he runs over to Miller to take a three away instead of taking his man Bosh. What would you rather give up, a three or a layup? Out of a timeout, watch this great Spoelstra call with Bibby is going to screen across for Bosh. Great pass by James. It's not a post-up though, it's simply a cut from the weak side. Finally, over 12 minutes into the game, they post Bosh up on the right block against Bonner, someone Bosh should be able to score on easily. After the foul, they go right back at him, and after a couple jab steps, he pulls up and hits a nice 18-footer. The Spurs quickly realize that Bonner can't handle Bosh down there, so they put DeJuan Blair on him, who promptly knocks the ball out of bounds. For the first time since I can remember, you're going to see Bosh screen for LeBron James and then actually roll to the basket hard instead of settling for a jump shot. Look at the results. At an early age, you should learn that when you screen, the screener is the most important person in that play because he'll be open more often than not. Both Wade and LeBron miss him, but they don't miss McGlure on the roll, who hits Bosh for a little jumper. For only the second time all game, Chris Bosh gets the ball in the right low block and goes to work, getting a foul on McDyess and 2 free throws. Here is the typical Miami Heat offense. 2 high posts, keeping Chris Bosh far from the basket, where instead of being closer in the low block like he should. That said, he gets tentative in these sets, and when there's penetration that he can slide into the basket, he doesn't. He'll simply stand there and watch the play. Same 1-4 set, a little bit different wrinkle out of this where they get a screen on the other side. But watch Bosh as he'll set a screen for LeBron James and pop again instead of rolling hard to the basket. He's not a good enough passer either to see. Can you guys see it? There he is. Darren Pierce wide open. But he doesn't see that and misses the shot instead. I want you to be aware of how often Chris Bosh simply settles for a jump shot instead of moving to the basket. Here's a great example, and his shot gets blocked. As if it isn't enough that he shoots so many jump shots, in my mind, he gets tentative sometimes as well and doesn't shoot in rhythm. First off, I wanted to point out this amazing block by Dwayne Wade. He's been making a lot of block shots recently, and that was certainly a very impressive feat from an athletic standpoint. That said, Tim Duncan's looking a little old and doesn't finish like he used to. But here, watch how Bosh is going to roll to the basket again, get down low, and get a foul. Finally. But I guess the aggressive mentality doesn't take. As you'll see, Chris Bosh on the weak side, after Wade's penetration, just stand there instead of moving in toward the basket. I don't care that he makes that shot. I'm not going to even say anything about this play. Just watch Chris Bosh on the weak side and how he moves. So let's talk about this in the context of playoff basketball. In the regular season against crappier teams, Chris Bosh can score 15 or 20 points from the outside and they win, not a problem, because the pressure of the defense is not that great. But when you get into the playoffs, in order to be successful, you have to get to the line. You have to get the other team's big men in foul trouble. And the way Chris Bosh plays typically, it ain't going to happen. He floats so much to the weak side on the perimeter and just settles for jump shots. And I got to tell you, I'm not convinced he's going to make those jump shots in the high-pressure third and fourth quarters of a playoff game in the fourth or fifth or sixth games. He might have 1 or 2 games he goes off and shoots really well and they'll win, but it's not the foundation of a championship team, to say the least. So I don't give a crap if you tell me he had 30 points and scored all those points, because it doesn't matter. It's the way they're getting those points in the context of a 7-game series that does not mean that they're going to win that series at all. So Miami fans, I'd be very concerned. Now on the other side, let's talk about the Lakers and their resurgence, because Andrew Bynum was a phenom last night, just all over the place against arguably the best center in the East, who at sometimes didn't even look like he was trying. While the Lakers decided to pick on Anderson with Gasol in the post, watch how Bynum muscles Howard under the basket and almost gets that tip. Out of the fourth option from the triangle, the screen and roll in the corner, you can see that Bynum literally muscles him again and Howard can't even go for the rebound. Somehow Bynum found his focus and was going after every loose ball. While Bynum does deserve credit for his effort, watch how putrid Dwight Howard's effort is. He does get pushed in the back, but he doesn't even try to box Bynum out in the first place. And due to all this extra energy and aggressiveness, good things are going to happen. The ball will happen to fall into your hands at the right time like that. The Lakers have enough confidence not to double on Dwight Howard, and look at the results, a brutal block shot. And while Bynum missed a few easy ones down low, he completely and utterly outworks Dwight Howard, who might as well not have been playing in this game. At this point, Howard is demoralized by Bynum. He gets his hook shot blocked here. Howard doesn't even try to go after the ball, and there's Bynum again grabbing a loose ball out of the air and starting the break. The game wasn't perfect for him though, as he gets really good position and starts to do a good move, but ultimately takes a bad fadeaway against Howard. Watch under the basket as Bynum makes Dwight Howard look like a little small forward against him who can't compete against the bigger Bynum. He was a defensive force, taking away passes on the weak side, coming over to help penetration, and blocking shots out of the air. He was so aggressive, he even took balls away from his teammates. And while this possession ends up in a Dwight Howard block, watch how he backs him down like he's not even guarding him. He reposts him, gets fantastic position, and it takes a mammoth effort by Dwight Howard to even stop that ball. There are times when Bynum might take a possession or two off, but in this game, he was in it to win it. Watch this effort and hustle in the corner to beat Dwight Howard, save the ball, and preserve the possession. He seemed to be everywhere on defense, taking away passes back to Howard, coming back over and swatting balls out of bounds. I mean, just watch him against Howard on the weak side. It makes Dwight Howard look like a little college player against him who can't compete against the size and strength of Andrew Bynum. So there you can see why the Lakers are the prohibitive favorites to win their third title in a row. They have the luxury of big men that can play and contribute in a lot of ways, and they have the best closer in Kobe in the world. If they play like that, and I don't see any team stopping that for 4 games in a period of a week, there's no way anybody will beat that. When you have Bynum dominating the best center in the NBA, what are you going to do? There's no way to stop. That team is too good, and if Bynum can keep it up, wow, they might not lose 4 games in the playoffs. I hope you can see the difference between that and the Miami Heat and the problems they have because Bosh doesn't put enough pressure on the defense. He might score well and shoot well from the outside in a couple of those games, but not for a series, and that's why they won't get out of the second round, I don't think. Thanks for joining us. A lot of stuff's happening. The new situation's going to be, we're going to do a B-Bull breakdown once a week. We're going to do a Heat breakdown once a week, just like we do B-Bull breakdown. We're going to have a game of the week, and I'm also going to start doing comparisons between the best offense and the worst offense, and the best defense and the worst defense. So if you have any other suggestions like that, lay them on me. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you'd like to see, because this is our big push for the last month of the season plus the playoffs, and I'm looking really forward to making this thing grow and being huge. And it's all because of you guys coming and watching and telling everybody that you know about what we're doing at B-Ball Breakdown. Because don't forget, it's not a channel, it's a conversation.